through your leadership, you embody the values of our Christian faith and love for the gospel. You remind me of the great Roman Emperor, Constantine the Great. It is my great honor to present you with this Holy Cross. This cross is the very symbol that led this great Roman Emperor Constantine to victory. As Christ revealed to him in a vision, he said, "En tuto nica," told the emperor, means go with this and be victorious, Mr. President. This cross is an everlasting symbol of peace and an invincible trophy, a sign of divine strength and guidance. With this cross, I pray you bring peace to the world and make America invincible.
Something I really encourage, I don't see a big, it's harder to see a big federal role for this. I think this is more a question of state and local law, is reinvigorating where possible Sabbath rest laws. To be very specific, like it used to be, this was basically the norm as best, I've looked into this some, I'm working on some research on this, really literally dating back to Constantine and his recognition of Christianity in the Roman Empire, that you've had a pretty consistent tradition in Western civilization of taking Sunday off from commerce. This, of course, this is a tradition that has roots not only in Christianity but in Judaism, and keeping the Sabbath holy, and having a time not only for, it's not merely from rest in the sense of abstinence from work, but it's rest for time with God, time worshiping God. It's rest for time with community, and even in between is time with family. The lack, one of the things that I think has been so harmful to the world of work and how we think about work is the lack of kind of well-defined and shared times for rest.
I was concerned, probably more concerned than I've ever been in my entire life, that if that election had gone to Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, then sometime over the next 4 years, because I am a Christian and because I exercise my First Amendment freedoms to speak Christian truth, particularly in the social media realm and the work we're doing with the Center for Baptist Leadership, that sometime sooner rather than later, I would get a knock on my door from the FBI who wanted to investigate me for quote unquote hate speech or something like that. The hate speech, of course, being radical beliefs that there's only two genders and that marriage is between a man and a woman and anything else like that. And that's where we were going. We saw Kamala Harris say that she did not believe in any religious exemptions for religious organizations who were opposed to abortion. I mean, she was willing to absolutely place abortion at a higher policy and priority level than our First Amendment freedoms, than our freedom of conscience and the exercise of our faith as Christians. So it would have been a nightmare. And that's what the regime wanted. And that's ridiculous that that's happening in America, in a country that was founded by Christians and on Christian values and has been a place that has been built and grown only because it was founded in the soil and the bedrock of Western civilization, which is fundamentally a Christian project and endeavor. This is our heritage, this is our land, and we've had it really sort of violently taken away from us by radical leftists who are fundamentally steeped in a Marxist worldview that is anti-God, anti-human, anti-family. I mean, all those things. And that was coming down the line. And he's back in office with J.D. Vance, giving us as believers a huge amount of breathing room, just a huge sigh of relief that this anti-Christian agenda and persecution that is a core feature of the left and their ideology and their vision for America has been put on pause. But it's not enough that it gets put on pause. We need to fight back, and we need to defend Christian truth, Christian values, and advance Christian policy priorities in the federal government and at the state level over the next 4 years while we can. And so that's what we could have had, right? Like today could have been a video where I was telling you all that I was being investigated by the IRS, or that I was, going to the gulags and I was going to have to share a cell with a bunch of other of my wonderful followers out there or supporters of the Center for Baptist Leadership. But instead, I'm here telling you today that I had a chance to go to the White House and to talk about policies and priorities that are so important to Southern Baptists and to Christians across the country, and to even meet President Donald Trump.
He's the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the Master of the universe. And the last time I checked, according to that Bible, that's the book for me, the government still rests on his shoulders. So it don't matter who tries to do what government tries to do what. I'm here to tell you, if the church arises in this hour, the church is about to take this country back. It's about to take the government back. It's about to take the schools back. We're about to take back Hollywood, arts and entertainment, education. I'm telling you, if the church will rise up, this is why God is calling the Esthers in this hour, in this moment, and he's created himself a movement for this time. Are you ready? Because we're not here to patty cake. We're here to take over.
Adopt a distinctly Christian preamble, and then all the 10 commandments must be legislated. What we've done is we thought the second table of the law, so second table meaning commandments 5 through 10, the commandments of God that pertain to our horizontal relationship with our neighbor, like don't steal, don't murder, these kinds of things. We think that should be legislated by the civil magistrate, but the first table of the law, not that. But that's not true. And I'm not just talking about Old Covenant Israel in the Old Testament. You look at King Alfred. You look at Constantine. You look at Richard the Lionheart. You look at Duke Godfrey, who chopped a Turk in half diagonally with one swing of the sword. These guys, they legislated both tables of the law. That's where all the prosperity comes from, because you can't hang in midair these second table commandments of don't steal from your neighbor apart from have no other gods before me. Idolatry is the fountainhead of the stream. You cannot have an idolatrous people and yet somehow have a moral people.
This story actually sounds a whole lot like today when we open it up. We have the nation oppressed and we have Gideon afraid. Isn't that a lot like our situation today? I mean, can we just be honest? Is not our nation in so many ways spiritually oppressed? Are we not suffering the spiritual oppression of the forces of secularism in our society? For decades now, the forces of secularism, the false god, if you will, of secularism have said that Christians should be silent in the public square, that Christians should have no place in law or in business or in academia or in government. The forces of secularism would cut us off from our spiritual history, from our spiritual foundations, from what makes us who we are as a nation. Listen, can I just tell you, every civilization is founded on a set of religious convictions, and the United States of America, I firmly believe, is the greatest nation in the history of the world because our spiritual convictions are the convictions of the Bible. Do you agree with that? They are the convictions of the truth of the Word of God. But the forces of secularism seek to cut us off from that truth. It seeks to destroy it, and in so doing, to oppress our nation.